I'm Sherry Tatum, your host for the night. And I'm sure by now all of you are running around buying Christmas presents, decorating your homes, and getting ready to celebrate your family traditions, as all of us do here in America. But, you know, a lot of countries don't celebrate as we do. And tonight here on Atlanta Live, we have a wonderful German family that's going to share their precious traditions of how they celebrate Christmas there. It's so different in a lot of ways, but yet the same in a lot of ways. And not only are they going to share their traditions, they're going to be singing their songs also. And on behalf of myself and WATC TV, I want to wish you a early Merry Christmas. And I'd like to tell you that you can call in to the station at any time. Our number is 770-300-9828. Now, WATC is on Facebook, and we're on YouTube. And you can call in here anytime. We have prayer partners, because we must remember this season is not about gifts. It's about family, but about Jesus Christ being brought into this world, born to save us all, and to give us life eternal with Him in heaven one day. So we must remember what the season is all about. So I know you're going to enjoy Sandra Onal too. She's here with her friends, and they're going to be singing some of our favorite Christmas songs. And you know Sandra, she is the songbird of the South. Yes, I'll have to say that. So right now we're going to hear Sandra and her friends sing a Christmas melody.
Beautiful sight, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is the bluebird, here to stay is the new bird. He sings a little song as we go along, walking in a winter wonderland. In a meadow we can build a snowman and pretend that he is Parson Brown. He'll say, "Are you married?" We'll say, "No, man," but you can do the job when you're in town. Later on, we'll conspire as we dream by the fire to face unafraid
Wow. That was pretty good, wasn't it, Ingrid?
Absolutely.
You know what? I'm sitting here with Ingrid, and she speaks German, and she's going to be my co-host tonight because she can speak German, and I can't. So, because some of the family that is here, they all speak German, and some of their songs I don't want to butcher. So we're going to let Miss Ingrid do that at the time that the song comes up. But right now, I want to introduce to you Beatrice, and then Beatrice, then I'm going to let each one of you introduce yourselves.
I'm Andreas.
I'm Katrin. And I'm Sabine.
Sabine. May I say Sabina?
Yes.
Is that all right with you?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Now, I don't know if you can see the table here. It's so beautiful. I wish you could be here to see it. But Beatrice and any of the others that want to explain this can tell you what's going on, especially the two candles. Beatrice, tell me a little bit about that. Is that a tradition with you?
Yes, what we have here is like an Advent wreath, and we have a little bit of a modern one, so we don't have the traditional one with the regular greens or so, but this one is a little bit more modern. But you will notice that first of all that we have 4 candles on there, and there are only 2 candles that are lit. So if you know a little bit about that, we have a tradition that we have an Advent time, and the Advent is really the time before Christmas, and there are the 4 Sundays before Christmas. There's the 1st and the 2nd and the 3rd and the 4th of Advent. This year we have actually the 4th of Advent actually is the 24th, and actually happens to be our Christmas Eve and our Christmas. So right now we have 2 candles burning because we only have the 2nd Advent. So this weekend we will light another one, and then the 4th one will be on the 24th. When we have our Christmas Eve. So this is our tradition for the
That's
Christmas.
Wonderful. Okay, do you have Santa Claus? I know a lot of people in America have Santa Claus that comes on Christmas Eve and brings the gifts. Is that what is in your country?
So not really. We actually have, on the 6th, what we do is we put out 1, and if you cheat, sometimes 2 shoes. If you
Or
want to get
many
more.
more.
Or many more.
Wait a minute, shoes?
Yeah, so on the 6th, it's St. Nicholas Day. It's St. Nicholas.
Okay.
And what you do is on the 6th, you put your shoes out, and instead of stockings at Christmas time, that's sort of the tradition where those shoes come around and get filled by St. Nicholas. And so that's
Now,
St. Nicholas Day.
what does he fill them with? With shoes, I mean.
Well,
What do you
it
put
can
in
be,
shoes?
it's typically chocolate.
Okay,
But
that'll do. That'll
spiced
work.
oranges sometimes, or if you want to meld it together, you can get those chocolate orange balls. So you can do both all in one. So,
Okay.
but anything you want, and typically it's an early start to the Christmas season, which is lovely if you can actually implement it.
Okay, so, but now on the 24th, is that when the gifts are put under a tree or brought or by us? It's not Santa Claus.
Yeah, it's so we have not Santa Claus who brings our presents. It's actually the Christkind, so Christ child that brings the presents.
Now wait, say that again.
It's
Beatrice.
called Christkind.
Christ.
Christ,
Okay.
and kind is child, so Christ child.
Okay.
So it's really like a beautiful angel, and that's the one that brings our Christmas presents.
And
So-
those open on Christmas Eve or Christmas?
on Christmas Eve, so we don't have to have that kind of like spending the whole night and wondering what is going to happen in the morning. And for the parents, it's a much more peaceful night than to sleep. So it's actually quite good.
Oh, it is, because I can remember being little and could not sleep all night. You know, you're so nervous and so anxious to wake up and tear into those presents under the tree. And that would be better, I think, on Christmas Eve. So, okay, girls, let me ask you a question. Do you have pretty big shoes that you put out so I can get a lot of chocolate?
Dad is a size 13, so we can just use his shoes. I recently got this pair of boots that I'm wearing right now, so I could put those out, and then he'd have to fill it to the top.
All the way to the top. You smart thinking.
And it can include nuts, fruits, chocolates as often. And there's actually a song about that the children tend to sing that's about the St. Nikolaustag. It's and it's their joyous celebration of the fact that the St. Nikolaus is coming soon.
Now, are they about to sing this song now, or is
Well,
that
if
one of
they're
their
permitted
songs?
to, this would be a perfect time for them to sing our special song from Germany called "Lasst uns froh und munter sein," which translates into "Let us be joyful and awake for the coming of St. Nikolaus."
Now, say that again in German. That's very beautiful.
Lasst uns froh und munter sein.
Okay. Now, I might add that Ingrid is from Chicago, but she speaks fluent German. That's because her parents are German, right?
My father's from Germany and my mother's from Austria.
Wonderful. And I might add, I don't know about, is Andres, saying that right?
Andres, yep.
Andres, and the two girls, if y'all all speak French, German, and English. Is
So
that right?
I don't speak French. I wish I did, but I speak English and German. They speak I believe all three, right?
Yeah, we speak French, German, and English.
And you speak a little bit of Spanish, right?
Yeah, Spanish, dabble in Spanish and Chinese. So
That's me.
that's it.
I dabble in Spanish myself. But anyway, let's hear the girls sing the song.
Okay.
Lasst uns froh und munter sein und uns reich von Herzen freuen. Lustig, lustig, tralalala, bald ist Nikolausabend da, bald ist Nikolausabend da. Dann stell ich den Teller auf, Niklaus legt gewiss was drauf. Lustig, lustig, tralalala, bald ist Nikolausabend da, bald ist Nikolausabend da.
That was very good. Very beautiful, girls.
And it actually explains the process of there is a similarity to the American tradition of setting out cookies for Santa Claus on New Year's Eve.
I see these delicious cookies.
Yeah.
I had my eyes on them.
This is something Beatrice might want to share.
Sure.
Did you bake these, Beatrice?
Well, some of them. So I show you some of the freshest one here. So this one here, that's the ones that I made. So these are Linzer cookies. Those are the ones here, and you put some jam in the middle of those. Those are called Vanillekipferl. So it's actually like an Austrian expression, right? So vanilla and Kipferl is the form of these kind of like moon-shaped, crescent moon shapes. And these are just regular Christmas cookies. There's like a Christmas tree, and you just make them, out of butter, out of nuts, eggs, and so those are kind of things like that. And then some of the other ones are also special things. Like these things are special to the place where I come from Nuremberg, in the southern part of Germany. And they're called Lebkuchen. So these are...
Wait.
Lebkuchen.
Lebkuchen.
L-E-B, Lebkuchen. Leb. And that means living cake. So if you
Okay.
eat this, you're going to live, maybe. That's kind of how it is.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then we have these ones here. Those are Zimtsterne. Those are made with cinnamon. These are one of your favorites, the Spekulatius. These ones over there.
Is that cinnamon? Made with cinnamon and gingerbread, maybe?
It's a little bit gingerbread, yeah. And then this one here is it's kind of similar to this one, just the little hearts. They have a little bit of a filling inside. So these are kind of all very traditional German cookies. And
Now, when you bake, do the
specialties.
girls help you?
Yeah, sure. They also do that, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. On good days, right?
On good days. I know, because here I know a lot of families that's one of their traditions is getting together and baking for Christmas Eve. And usually a lot of families get together on Christmas Eve here in America because everyone wants to go home then, like I said, go to bed, worry all night, and hop up in the morning and open their presents. But you were telling me too about your church, and how the candles are done. Can you tell me that a little bit?
Yeah, so for me,
Beatrice?
Christmas is always a lot of memories, lots of tradition, and so one of the biggest things I think that is very interesting. You know, you were talking about that, how we get so busy in our everyday lives, and how this is kind of a time that we, worry about. Oh gosh, do I have all the presents for all the people that I need to, and do I have time for anything? We get the Christmas tree here very early. So for me as a child, we actually never saw the Christmas tree until Christmas Eve. So
Really?
Yes. So
Wow.
Christmas Eve was a tradition. At first there was, you had to wait and you had to wait and you had to wait, and then you had to wait for a little ring of the Christkind to come, and then when you heard this little ring, you could go into the room where the tree was, and of course it was then decorated, and the Christ child brought the tree and decorated it all, and had all the candles and all the beautiful lametta and all of that on there, and it was a real impression for that. But our tradition before that, before we were able to go there, we would usually go to church. So we'd go to church maybe like around 5 o'clock or so, and the church in Nuremberg where we used to go to is a Lutheran church, and was very old, traditional, with a Gothic church from like the 1500s or so.
Wow.
So and we had the service, and they had candles, big candles all around. And at the end of the service, they would turn all the electrical lights down, and they would just have the candles. And then we would be in the church, and just the last song that they always played was a song that's called O du Fröhliche. And with that impression, we would kind of walk out that church with a big rosette with a beautiful like to walk out there, and it was just a big impression. So for me, this is one of my absolute favorite songs, is O du Fröhliche, and this again is a celebration of being happy and being with your family and enjoying Christmas.
Amen.
So
She has goosebumps. So.
Yes. I'm curious,
watch out, right?
Andreas, if did your mother then carry this tradition? Did you experience that?
So we were always the weird kids on the block that got the Christmas tree on the 22nd, right? So never had anything set up, and like, do you guys celebrate Christmas? Yes, we do. And it's extended to my family now. So I have a wife and a son, and so we did get our Christmas tree a little bit earlier this year. But that's only because we're trying to meld German and American traditions together. But yeah, I know very similar traditions. One of the things we did was, as growing up, because my father's American as well, so we used to open one present Christmas Eve, and it was typically from my godfather who lives in Germany. And he would, back in the 90s, you had to ship it for about $200, over here. But it was always something very special, very, very cool, very new age, because he was a bachelor until age 40-something. Could kind of spend the money. But it was a really cool tradition. And it also kind of brought us down from the, waking up at 5:30 in the morning to open something because we already had something open. So, but it's good, anytime you can meld traditions like that, I think it's important.
Yes, absolutely. Well, most of our traditions, even here, come from Europe.
Right.
Christmas came here to America from the immigrants from Europe. And I understand that the Christmas tree actually originated in Germany. I had read that one time. Did you know,
Yes.
Ingrid, for sure if that's so?
Yes, absolutely. The tradition did originate in Germany.
And I read that they would put it on top of their homes in like the 18th century, not in the home, but on top of the home. But talking about getting your Christmas tree, we have families here, because we celebrate Thanksgiving on the last Thursday of November. The next day, they got the tree.
Yeah.
They're decorating the tree then, and they have it and some people don't take it down for 2 weeks into January.
No.
I know.
There's and specifically because of the coming of the three kings.
Absolutely.
And so for the Epiphany, that was really the day to keep for in Germany. It's to actually the Christ child brings the tree, and as you had mentioned, it's sort of you know, the tradition of not having the families decorate, rather the parents, you know,
Yes.
wait until the children sleep. And then or the children are elsewhere in the house and you have the closed doors, but the tree is there. And then when the bell rings, that means the Christ child has come through. And now the children can run, and they, you know, can run to the tree and
see the
discover
tree.
it.
Well, I always like decorating the tree. How about y'all? How about you two girls?
Yes.
Well,
Yes. Do you get to decorate the tree?
Yeah, I do, and I'm so glad because it's like a Christmas tradition.
Absolutely.
but not only that, we also, one of the most fun things is the Advent calendars. So on an Advent calendar, this is actually my sister's, but there are 24 little door box thingies with chocolates behind each one, and they're a different shape.
Wait now.
Yes?
Chocolate?
Yes.
Behind each door?
Yes.
Oh, my granddaughter Bailey would love that. Yeah, she's all about chocolate. Go ahead.
It's very good. But for example, for the 6th, it was a boot-shaped chocolate, and then you get to eat one. And the 24th is a bigger door. It's the size of 2 regular ones, but it has kind of a larger chocolate, kind of like a little mini celebration to end it. And that's one of my favorite things.
I guess so. It'd be one of mine too. So you've opened up 12 as today. So tomorrow is a new chocolate?
Yes.
Chocolate. Ooh, all right. Now, we were talking about candles though, and I have noticed your tree here, if we can get a shot of the tree, and it has candles on it. Do you light the candles? Literally
Yes.
light candles.
With a fire extinguisher right next to it.
I was going to say, but that's very beautiful. Absolutely. And isn't there a song that goes with that?
The
Ingrid?
yes, I
Yes.
think some may have heard of it even in the U.S. The translation is "O Christmas Tree," but it's traditionally in German "O Tannenbaum."
Yes, and the girls are going to sing that,
Yes,
right?
the girls are prepared to sing "O Tannenbaum."
O Tannenbaum, wie grün sind deine Blätter. Du grünst nicht nur zur Sommerzeit, nein auch im Winter, wenn es schneit. O Tannenbaum, wie grün sind deine Blätter.
Now that translates to "Oh Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree."
Actually, Tannenbaum is literally a fir tree.
A
So
fir
it
tree.
translates to we call it a Christmas tree, but the literal translation in German is a fir tree.
Do you prefer the live tree
Oh, yeah.
or the make-believe tree?
I didn't know what a make-believe tree was until I
The one
stepped
that
into
comes in a
somebody's house.
box.
So, yeah, I have no idea.
Exactly. Because still here, where I'm from, people go out and cut a tree down
Right.
and bring in. They like the live tree. They like the cedar, the fragrance of the cedar tree. But we don't do live candles. But my goodness, do we put a lot of things on the tree? Absolutely. So, well, Ingrid, what about you? What about some traditions with your family?
There are, well, we've touched on quite a few. The trumpets that you hear coming out of church is something that I'm not sure. You hear them and Andreas, I know, have you been to the St. Lawrence Kirche? And
Yeah.
so all of you you've heard that traditionally the trumpet playing in the church at the end of Christmas Mass.
What is this the church?
Yes, it
Yeah, it
is.
is.
That would be the St. Lawrence Kirche in
Well,
Nuremberg.
actually, this is actually the main market square, and this is the Frauenkirche. There's another picture in that book. I can show you this. I don't know if you can kind of like focus on this.
Beatrice,
But,
would that picture be from inside the church?
This is kind of like the straw kind of like decorations that we have a little bit on here too. You see these things? These
For
are
the
all like
tree?
decorations for the tree. But I have this here is kind of, I don't know if you can focus on this, but this is the church that I was talking about. This is the outside, and this is the inside. So it's very Gothic, very plain actually from the inside, but beautiful, like work from some of the artists in there. So, and this is the big rosette that I was talking about when you walk out that you see.
It's
This is kind of-
beautiful.
yeah, and it's big. So
Now,
yeah.
but the picture was shown just a minute ago looked like huge ornaments or something. The gold. What was that, Ingrid? That was beautiful.
Yes.
That.
These are actually just
that-
big straw
just
decorations.
straw. It
Yeah, and they're all
looks-
just together like decorated.
And
like
that's
that.
in your church.
And you have that on the Christmas trees in the church, like in all around during Christmas time. This is like decorations.
That's absolutely beautiful.
The delicate decoration of crafts
Yes.
is something that's very traditional in
Yes.
Germany, handcrafts.
And I brought one of the things here, which is like a little angel here. This is what we call like a Rauschgoldengel. So
Now, she's an angel. But you know, Beatrice, I want you to hold that thought. I want to come back because we got to go to our phones right now. We've got our prayer partners in there, and they're taking calls. And right now, Sandra is going to talk to you from the prayer room.
Hello, and I'm here in the prayer room, and we are just receiving many prayer requests, and calls are coming in. You know, when we gather together and we pray, God is faithful to listen and to deliver us. As I look here, we have a prayer request that says, you know, I just need a lot of prayer. I don't want to give you any details, but you know, God knows the details, and He's already there for you. Another one, grandson, his left leg is in complete pain, and she is praying for peace, patience, asking God to just remove the fear that this pain is causing, and we're trusting that God is going to do that. Another one is 4 years. This person has been clean from drugs and alcohol, and that is a praise report, and they're just asking to continue to pray that this person will continue to stay clean, and we are trusting God for that. The last one that we're getting here is they want prayer for peace of mind and to stop fighting, and it says here just to stop thinking poorly of others, and please be in my thoughts. And you know, we're declaring in confidence that God is there with you, and we've got prayer warriors here that are on the phone right now interceding for you. Now just keep on calling, and we will be praying, and we will lift every prayer up for you. Now we're going to go straight to the talk set here, back to Sherry Tatum, learning more about the German traditions. Merry Christmas.
Well, just remember to call 770-300-9828 because, listen, this is a season that we need to be praying. Maybe you have a special request. Maybe someone you know is having a hard time and needs a word of encouragement. But anyway, just call in and talk to our prayer partners. They'll be glad to pray with you. And you know what, Ingrid? We've got Miss Janet here. She has joined us. And Miss Janet is British, but she teaches German.
Right.
And I might be a little confused. I don't know. You girls help me out.
She knows more about Germany than any of us.
Now, yes, tell me what you were saying during the prayer talk there a minute ago.
What I wanted to say, we talked a little bit earlier about the Christmas tree originally coming from Germany, and the patron saint of the Christmas tree, St. Bonifatius, comes from my adopted hometown in England. I wasn't actually born there, St. Boniface, and they have a link with a town called Fulda in Germany, where the whole Christmas tree tradition was supposed to have started. So
Wow.
maybe that's why I got interested in Germany way back when I was in school and went on to study German.
Is it hard teaching us Americans German?
Actually,
Do we do fairly well?
it's easier teaching Americans, but I also teach at the German School of Atlanta, where I'm teaching Germans to Germany to Germans, because they think they know it all, but their parents want me to be able to spell and write it, and they're not interested in doing any of that stuff.
You're an amazing woman, Janet, absolutely. But now, Beatrice, I told you to hold that thought about, tell us a little more about that again.
Yeah, so this is called a Rauschgoldengel, and they're actually handmade, little angels. They sometimes have even like some real hair, so the face is made out of like a wax, and they're really, if you focus on it, they're beautiful little angels. They make them, and they're kind of tradition also to have those, and to have several around to kind of guard you and help you, and be your little guardian angels there.
Absolutely. So. Yes, I have a huge angel at my house that I put out because angels were a part of all, our Christmas. The Hark the Herald Angels Sing. We have all the beautiful songs about angels here in America about Christmas. But tell me, you were going to say something about the tree too, Ingrid. Is there another song, or were you talking about the ornaments earlier?
Well, just not exactly. I was just beginning to share a little bit more that the ornaments that looked so golden in the photo are actually part of the German tradition of handwork, where it's actually made of straw, and as well woodworking is also very traditional. And we have a number of on either side of where we're sitting here, we have some very elegant wood carvings that the Germans pride themselves in.
Now, are you saying that you buy these, or that families make them themselves?
Some families will make the straw ornaments for their trees, many. The wood, it's someone who is passionate about it will develop that in their own lives.
I noticed Beatrice putting everything out before the show, and she's like me. I noticed she likes it all like it's supposed to be, detailed, everything out for everyone to enjoy. How about the Nutcracker? Is that a German tradition?
Yes, it is, definitely. Yes.
That came from Germany also.
Yes.
I'm amazed at how many things that we do here are from Germany. That I would have never thought
some
about.
Of them
the
even work.
Nutcracker.
This one I don't think works, but some of them actually you can actually put a nut in there, and then you can kind of crack them.
What about now? Is this the same as that?
So this is a little bit what we call like an angel's music, and some of my children like them and some of them don't. So we had them always like for breakfast. We would like light these little candles, and then these little angels kind of go around and they make some lovely music. But it kind of drives everybody a little bit crazy after a while. So, some people like it. I love it. I love to hear it.
I love that. Now, when you light the candles, it makes it twirl, and then it makes the music.
The heat will rise and it will turn like that. And we also have, I'm not sure whether you have seen those, but there are some very beautiful pyramids also made out of wood carvings, that you have the same principle where you have some candles around it, and then with the heat it will rise and will make the little pyramid turn all around.
With your little angel on top.
Yes, and if you notice, with the trumpet player is also at the top, and
at the church.
Yes, and that goes back to the church, and the song that is traditionally sung at the end of Mass at the St. Lawrence Church, Kirche, that in Nuremberg that we showed you earlier.
Yes. Now, are the girls going to sing the song for us?
This is a very traditional, nostalgic memory for all of us. It's called O du Fröhliche.
O du Fröhliche.
Yes.
Freue dich, o Christen.
girls are good. I'm going to sign you up with a recording contract. Would that be neat? I mean, they could do the German songs. That would be terribly awesome. Okay, girls, I want to ask you a question. Do you have favorite memories of your Christmas Eve, of decorating the tree, of when you were smaller? Is there a special Christmas for you, or a present that you got that you wanted so terribly?
Well, I remember that I loved the Advent thing, the Advent thing with the 4 candles, so much that I, every time my parents put it back in the garage, I'd pull it out and I'd put it on the table, and so we had it for like half the year. And, I mean, I would just light it randomly, and my mom was like, "That's not the Advent, but okay." You know?
Okay. And for me, the only thing that I really have that stands out in particular, well, not the only thing, but my sister and I would always fight over who got to light the tree, or light the tree that year and put the star on the top of the tree. And my dad, he's really tall, so he would pick one of us up to put it on top, and we'd argue. We'd say, "No, you did it last year." "What? No, that's not true. You did it 2 years in a row."
Well, sisters do that.
Yes.
I have 3 girls, and they did all of this when they were small too. So, but do you, Janet? Do you have a special time at your home, or do you have Christmas dinner?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, yes, sort of lunch come dinner, you know, it goes on. It starts maybe in my house about 4:30 and goes on the whole evening, and then we set the Christmas pudding, we flame it.
Wait, you flame the pudding.
We flame the pudding in brandy, and my father used to bring it, or now my husband brings it in flaming, and inside, traditionally, there are some little coins or little treats. It used to be silver coins. You can't do that anymore, certainly if you want to sell them in the shop, but
yes.
Yeah, and then you're always lucky if you get a piece with a coin in. That's the Christmas pudding.
Oh, how neat.
I do have a memory from a Christmas in Germany, many happy memories of Christmas in Germany, but one in Tübingen, which is a little town south of Stuttgart, and we were there for Christmas one time and went to visit an old couple that lived in the town, and they had a huge tree with apparently 400 burning candles on the tree, and my husband was so frightened that the whole place was going to go up. But the old man, who was really old, but he was going around all the time spraying the tree the whole time.
Keeping it wet.
Yes, but
cool
they were
idea.
famous in the town for their Christmas tree with the 400 lights.
Wow. Well, I guess right now we're going to hear Miss Sandra Onal and her friends sing another Christmas selection. Okay, Miss Sandra, go ahead, girl.
Now we want you to sing from home these carols. Wherever you are, you're listening to them. Sing along with us.
Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is Lord. While shepherds kept their watching Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Down in a lonely manger, a humble Christ was born and brought us God's salvation, that blessed Christmas morn. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born.
Amen. And that is Kaylee Michaels on vocals. Thank you for joining us, Kaylee. I'm so excited to be here with my friends, and we are all in the Christmas spirit. So excited to learn about how different countries in the world celebrate, especially Germany. And you know, this next song, it's called The First Noel. And we come from a variety number of countries. We have heritage from South Africa. We have heritage from Honduras. I'm from Peru. And we have a Cuban as well. And of course, our wonderful North American friends. And we're so excited to be here. Now, you're sitting there listening. I want you to just sing as loud as you can. I don't care who's sitting next to you. If it's your mama, your papa, your sister, your brother, sing loud because it's Christmas time, y'all. And we're going to sing The First Noel.
Hoy ha nacido el Rey de Israel.
take a little bit of time here to introduce you, my friends. To the left here, I have Charmaine Landrum. I have Bob Becklem here on the guitar. I have my friend Kaylee Michael, her husband, on the cajon, and the percussions, John Michael, and on the piano, we have our dear friend, Dan Edgar. We're so excited to have everybody here. And, you know, as we talk about our traditions and how we grew up, and what our families did in our home to celebrate the birth of Christ. We are so diverse in our heritage and in our customs. And here with my friend Charmaine Lindrum, you have family, Charmaine, from South Africa.
That's right. My parents are African. I've got heritage in South Africa and Rhodesia, which is was Zimbabwe. And Christmas to me is different because we celebrate like they do. We have mince pies and trifle and custard and Father Christmas instead of Santa, and it's just a wonderful time.
That's
we love
wonderful.
it.
And what carols did you love, and what's one that you love dearly?
I really want to share Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, and I'll be home with Christmas with you because my family is literally all around the world, and so I'd like to just send that out to my family. Wherever we are, we celebrate in our hearts together, and we all have the same reason to celebrate. Jesus is our Savior, and this is the time when He was born.
Yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. Shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now. a shining star upon the highest and have yourself a merry little Christmas
Merry Christmas to my family everywhere.
What a blessing. Beautiful job, Charmaine. You know, it is. We have family all over the world. The way that we got together as friends, we were chosen to come together for a mission trip, and God united us to be able to share music together. You know, I'm originally from Peru, and, you know, growing up, I remember hearing awesome carols. And my friend, Kaylee, you're from Honduras. Do you remember hearing El Burrito Sabanero?
Oh, yes, I
Oh
do
my goodness.
remember
So,
that.
guys, I would love to play it real quick and sing it. You guys, this was a carol that we would sing from a very young age, and I hope you will enjoy it. Here it goes.
Con mi burrito sabanero voy camino de Belén. Con mi burrito sabanero voy camino de Belén. Si me ven, voy camino de Belén. Si me ven, voy camino de Belén. Tuki, 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 tu. Apúrate mi burrito que ya vamos a llegar. Tuki, 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 ta. Apúrate mi burrito que vamos a Jesús. Con mi burrito sabanero voy camino de Belén. Con mi burrito sabanero voy camino de Belén. Si me ven, voy camino de Belén. Si me ven, voy camino de Belén. Tuki, 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 ta. Apúrate mi burrito que ya vamos a llegar. Tuki, 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 ta. Apúrate mi burrito que vamos a ver a Jesús. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. I know you know this. Feliz Navidad. Próspero año y felicidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Próspero año y felicidad. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Próspero año y felicidad.
Feliz Navidad to you, and a Merry Christmas also to all of our audience out there, and to my wonderful German friends that have been with me tonight. I so enjoyed it. I mean, Beatrice, we could have talked, what, another 2 hours?
I know, this went by so fast. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
Beatrice said to me, hey, that went so quickly. Well, once you get started and you learn all the traditions and different things, it's so easy to keep going.
Yes.
So, but Here at Atlanta Live, we want to hope that you're having a very Merry Christmas. And we're always so glad when you tune in here with us. Now, this will wrap our first part of TV 57, Atlanta Live, but we're coming right back in a few moments, so please stay with us. And thank you for being with us. Welcome to Atlanta Live. I'm Sherry Tatum, your host for the night. And gosh, if you were tuned in to the first segment, what beautiful, beautiful music we heard with Sandra Onal and her friends. And in this second part, we're going to have Sandra's husband, Errol Onal, and he's going to come on and tell us about his life, where he grew up, how he grew up, and how he celebrated Christmas. And I think you're going to be quite amazed at his traditions and where Errol grew up. I would have never known it, but was pleased to find out that he is here now and celebrates here with us in America his Christmas. So we also have Dan Egger. He's going to be playing the piano, and you are going to love his piano playing. I think we heard it a little earlier. And so now stay with me because we're going to hear Dan play Oh Holy Night.
The stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Christ was born. O night divine, O night divine. Chains shall he break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chorus raise we, but all within us praise His holy name. Christ is the Lord. Let ever praise we. Noel, Noel, O night when Christ was born. O night divine, O night, O night divine.
Wow. Oh my, what a profound voice. I mean, if that won't make you want to raise your hands and thank God, I don't know what will. His voice was, I mean, just beautiful, glorious, and what a gift God has given him. But you know, here in America, we are blessed with Christmas and gifts and the way we have family and get-togethers. And Errol Onal is here. He's my guest. And he's going to tell us a little bit, things might be a little different in different countries. Errol, I want to welcome you.
Oh, thank you, Sherry.
I just love you.
I love you too.
You're
We're
so
kindred
precious.
spirits.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
Yes, we
Man and
are.
woman together,
Yes,
I tell you.
And you know what?
Yeah.
God has answered your prayer
Yeah, I tell you.
about being able to tell a little bit of your story. Because you prayed that. Because Sandra, God bless her, I love her. She's, you know, she and I do Friends and Neighbors, our show, and she's kind of in the limelight. And you're kind of back here applauding her and helping her to go forward. And you don't get to say a lot. But tonight you get to say your story.
God's story is what I say. And first of all, appreciate you letting me be here on Land Alive. And for all those people out there who need prayer, just want to let you know this is the reason why we do this. Okay?
Amen.
And so the God story that I have is, I think, unique to me as much as I hope will speak to you too, where you are. And the first thing I want to say is, all you men out there, don't be jealous. I'm sitting on the couch getting some deep couch sitting. But I'm telling you this, it has been worth the wait. So I pray you get that too.
Yes.
So, you know, first of all, my name. I just tell you that. What's the name? My name is Errol Onal. Now, that'll confuse a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, because ultimately, the way I look is not necessarily the way my name would portray it. Like, my name is Turkish. Now, a lot of people
would never thought.
So I bring that up because, you know, that itself, a name can also open doors for, you know, other people to understand where I've been in my life through the origin of my name, the country, and things like that. But I confuse everybody because I look German. And so with that said, that speaks to my family. So my dad was Turkish, my mom was German. And so with that said, I got her looks and his name, his origin, country of origin name. So from that place, you know, my family in general came from a diverse background, and I share that because my dad was Turkish, and he came from a secular part of the country. Most people may not know of Turkey as much as I do because of where he's been and came from. So it's mostly secular.
Well, now, but were you born there or here?
No, so here's what happened. Here's how God worked. Okay. Mom was German. Tell you about her. She was born out of the war and in the war, and was pushed out in the area that she was from the war to a refugee camp. And so from that place was then emigrated to the United States and came here. So, and my dad, being Turkish educated, came into the United States as well and met, of all places, in New York City. Now that is not ordained.
Yes, that has to be.
Yeah, because I tell my wife when I brought her there's 8 million people in the city of New York, but you're bound to bump into somebody, and they bumped into each other, but I believe it was not that. I believe that in my heart, because there's only God that can bring a person from the Baltic Mountains and from Germany, bring them together in a place like that. And so from that meeting, that divine appointment, me and I have a twin brother, and for all those moms out there born of twins, you will survive. My mom did. And so, you know, she had the heritage of her German faith, and so coming together after this on the other side of the hour, hearing about all the traditions that I heard with the previous guests, it was really hit my heart, because traditions are good.
Yes.
You know, traditions are reminders. And so when I continue to talk, I want you to know that these traditions that we have and we hold can speak life and light into people. So
Amen.
When we were brought into this world, raised in New York, it's crazy. It's just unique if you haven't lived it. And so, you know, the home we were raised in, Dad was Turkish, secular, but of Muslim belief.
Really?
Yeah.
No, really.
I know. And so of the faith, my mom, she knew of God because of her mom. And the reason why I know that too is I called her Oma, is because when we visited her, my Oma, she would sing and have her guitar, not generally like we have it here, on her lap, sitting upright and singing, and all I would understand in German was Jesus.
Oh.
Right. So she spoke that so clearly every time I visited my Oma in her apartment that I already knew the name of Jesus before I even knew him personally. But through that, my mom, in the marriage, wasn't able to continue that faith. And so that's the testimony for you guys, for me and for you out there. There is a purpose in everything. Although my dad was Muslim, he had conflict, I'll put it that way. He had conflict with the faith that my mom had, enough to suppress it over time. And I knew that in the overall sense of their relationship. But here's the three-letter word, but God.
Yes, but God.
Because it was through the traditions that my mom held dearly to. Through the strife she dealt with, emigrating from a refugee camp to the United States, the traditions of similar things I saw here laid out on the table: Christmas cookies. Christmas trees.
Yes, candles.
Correct.
Yes.
Although not able to fulfill the faith of her mom, I know my Oma showed her.
Yes.
She showed it through those traditions. I believe it 100%.
Wow. So that's how you came to know Jesus Christ, is through all, that was put in your mind at a very, very early age.
Yeah, tradition in that realm. Where I was in New York with, remember, chaos.
Yes.
Dad secular, his beliefs, the inadvertent suppression of the faith
So you didn't have Christmas?
We had it in a way that provided the opportunities to open presents, to have a Christmas tree, to be able to do what everybody else was doing.
Yes.
And so, but I know my mom well enough now, God bless her, 80 years, she's still here with us. I know her well enough to know she held on to that love that she had through those traditions.
Yes.
Because the manifestation of that love was not able to happen through professions of Jesus in our family.
Yes.
And
Now,
so that's how she did it.
She couldn't do that because of the Muslim faith. Is that true?
Yeah, so how it works is in my regard, when you bind in marriage without God, everything else falls to the ground, I believe. And so in that marriage, I know that that part of her fell to the ground.
Oh.
To hold the marriage.
Yes.
And to be able to live and to be able to survive in a way of raising children in that chaos.
Okay, so you're growing up in New York in this diverse family.
Yep.
You go to school.
Yep.
You have friends. Do they know? Do you go to their homes and see what they do? And do they understand your faith or your life, where you're coming from?
Yeah, so
How was that?
I tell you this, I've been to probably as many mosques as a child as I was to church, and as many synagogues as I was to church. Because where I grew up, there was diversity there, and so ultimately the diversity led to different ethnicities and different people practicing of their faith. So that's really how my life evolved in that regard, just going to places as much as not be able to worship a God that I ever knew, because I was not given that ability per se, or the opportunity.
Well, when and how did you come to know the Lord Jesus Christ as your
so
Savior?
like I said, God had a plan, anointed the time for my parents to have us born there, and through that, the faith was again established through the traditions. I mean that because without it, the absence of the Christmas, the absence of the opening the presents, the absence of my love, not my mom's love, not holding firm because of who she was, how she exhibited love, the only way she knew how, the best way she had, there would be no opportunity for me to hold on to that love, which was God. So I'm just sharing that because love brings through those traditions enough to get me to where I was.
Yes.
And so through where I was, the biggest thing I knew of when Christmas was open up that box, you all know where I am now, ColecoVision, okay? That's where Christmas was to me.
ColecoVision?
ColecoVision.
Okay.
Pong. And so that was what Christmas was to me. And then, like you asked, how did God bring me through? Because my dad was educated, so I followed his path of education, became a physician. Through that process, decided that I wanted to move in a position or place outside of New York where I knew I could survive better. And so I brought me down south. And so God brought me there because my family was in New York. All the things that I knew of were in New York. But he knew he had a plan for me.
Yes,
and so with that said, I didn't leave New York out of my own will. I know that now because he had a plan for me to leave everything I knew to supplant me in a place I had no idea where I was as much as the education my dad brought me there. And through that, I met my wife.
Well, you came to a good place.
I believe
the
it.
South, I believe it. So this is where you met Miss Sandra.
Miss Sandra.
Ooh.
Yeah, I love you. She
well,
is a
how did
joy.
that come about? Now, was Sandra a Christian at the time?
She was, and she is.
Well, how did that go?
Yeah, so she is the angel ordained on earth for me, where I came through.
Oh, for me too.
Yeah, I tell
you,
she was that vision I saw visiting Emory at that time for residency programs, and she was there at that hospital, doing her thing. And
was she singing?
So at that point she had sung, but she was not proactively singing for the Lord. I'll say that. I know her well enough, but ultimately was singing. But God brought us together for a purpose through that divine appointment.
Well, now listen, you're talking about how your mom and dad met from these countries in New York. What about
That's what I'm talking. From Peru. Through Chicago. God knows that was cold.
Yeah.
And then, so she survived those winters, came down to Atlanta, and then ultimately we met there, of all places.
Is that amazing?
That's divine appointment.
Yes.
So with that said, I married. We married. And so from that point, we went through residency program, and then I tried to woo her back to New York.
Oh, did you?
You know how long that lasted?
Yes.
About have 1 minute. Yeah, that didn't work out too well, so we acquiesced and settled in Atlanta.
But so now you're married.
Yeah.
Up comes Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay, how did you feel? What did Miss Sandra, did she incorporate
Oh, I tell you.
her family traditions with you?
She
And
sure
were you
did.
did you accept that?
Yeah, absolutely. So in my heart, like I said, the love, I keep saying, the love of my mom through the traditions held me on to what Christmas was.
Yes.
The love of Jesus Christ. Did not know that detail, but I know there was love in that. So I embraced it. I loved Christmas. Remember, ColecoVision. I loved it. I mean it. It was a joy.
ColecoVision.
Not knowing the purpose as much as the presence, right? So with that said, you know, God, I mean, this world has a way of riddling your mind with reason. And so my mind, as much as it was, riddled with reason, with conflict as well. Again, I can't get away from that when you live in that environment.
Yes.
Through Sandra, through the Holy Word, through people around, the change of circumstance that God brought me to in a point of time, He changed my life.
Amen.
And there's
Amen,
only He,
Errol.
the Word of God, through the words of my wife and the people around me, that it was revealed, the truth.
Absolutely.
And it only happens through that.
Yes, absolutely.
There's no words anyone can tell you to make it happen, as much as, for me as a physician, I tell you, all those who are out there need prayer in this.
Yes,
As a
amen.
physician, knowledge can be paralysis. Knowledge can be suppressing.
Yes.
But it takes more than knowledge to have faith. And so that's the surrender as physicians and people of intellect that sometimes deal with, that I had to deal with too.
Amen.
How can there be something out there that I cannot touch, feel, or see?
Right.
That does not make sense.
No, it doesn't.
So those people out there, it takes faith beyond what you know to be able to reveal the truth to you. So I just want to make sure people understand that is so true
Yes.
to so many people out there, especially from New York.
Yes.
And in those places that deal with a constant barrage of distractions, constant barrage of, I need to get to where I need to go because this is the way I need to do it. But to break from that takes beyond the knowledge that anyone would ever conceive of and know. So that's how it came to me.
Well, you know, that's the whole purpose of this show.
Yeah.
Is to encourage people to know the Lord Jesus Christ, for people to call here and pray with someone. Our number is 770-300-9828. And we just encourage you to do that. Even if, you know, heavy heart, Errol, it can be just about as bad as any other financial crisis or whatever. So even if you just have a heavy heart and you just like to speak to someone, please call us, because that's why we're here. And that's why we try to bring great guests like Errol.
Yeah, that's what it is down south now.
Errol,
I'll take it. I'm welcome to. I embrace it.
You're the only one I know this name other than Errol Flynn,
I know.
the actor.
That's the only way I can relate it to anyone else.
So you and Miss Sandra are married now.
Yeah.
And
yes, ma'am.
life goes
Embracing
on.
Christmas for the purpose of
and
Christ.
with your daughter. Eliana. Am I saying Eliana?
Eliana.
Which means God has answered my prayer because you prayed for Eliana for how many years?
Yeah, so Sandra will say, of course, 13 years, but to me as a husband, 12 years, 10 months, 4,440 days. I prayed for her.
Oh, you're so precious, Earl. I love you.
And his
Yes, and she's wonderful.
His promises are true.
Yes, and what a gift.
Yeah, she has been a gift to me and didn't have to do it. That's the most important thing to know.
Yes.
But along that path, He saved me and He lavished me with His grace.
Honestly.
And just knowing that, it's just so overwhelming.
Well, for you to be so open about that and to share your heart like that, if most men would be a little, they'll hold back. But you're so open, and I appreciate that in you, Errol. I really do.
This opportunity for men out there who may be in the background of a marriage, dealing with the issues of trying to have family. But just want to let you know, men, you are not forgotten. You are a rock for them, but also Jesus needs to be a rock for you.
Amen.
So I want to encourage you.
Yes.
If you haven't given yourself to that point of surrender, of Psalm 37:4, give your desires to the Lord.
Yes, amen.
And He will give you desires
of your heart.
of your heart.
Amen. Well, you know what? one of my desires is to hear your little precious, sweet peanut little wife that
Can
I
I do a
love.
little deep couch sitting now?
Yes, you can rest out, Earl.
I appreciate
Okay, and Sandra, Onal, and friends are singing, "Oh, come, all you faithful."
Woohoo!
Woo! Go away, Sandra.
We are so thankful for the blood of Jesus Christ that we can praise and sing to him these carols. Oh, come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him in Christ the
wonderful as mine. Thank you for being here with us on Friends. On Atlanta.